Hey everyone, I'm Eric Cox. I'm a member of the Net Capital team. Let's allow one moment for everybody to settle in. Thanks.
Got me a new pen, Eric.
Look at that. That's sharp.
It's a cross pen. It's I bought it this weekend. It's really nice. I write a lot. You know what I mean? I had a nice pen and somebody walked off with it. I went,
oh no.
Yeah, but
that looks good.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That's beauty. And I just invited Gerardo up as a panelist as well.
Very nice. Hey Gerardo.
Hey Tracy. Hey Eric. How's it going?
Doing quite well. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Gerardo is the magician at Revolut. He makes the magic happen. We both make magic happen. He's the technical magic.
I love it. Well, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and dive in then. So, Welcome again. Thank you so much for everybody for joining. Today, I'm excited to welcome Tracy DeBarros as well as Gerardo Melendrez as members of the Revolut team. As always, Revolut, this company is actively raising capital on the Net Capital platform. I just went ahead and added a link to that into the chat, or you can go to netcapital.com and search Revolut, or you can go directly to netcapital.com/companies/Revolut, and that is REVOHLOO. So definitely go ahead and click that link or head on over there and learn more from their offering page. A couple quick housekeeping items. Please do use the Q&A feature built into Zoom. I know there's also a chat function, but Q&A makes it so much easier to track all the questions. And please do ask your questions. We want to keep this as interactive as possible, so please do ask those questions.
Don't make them easy questions either. Hit me with the hard ones.
Yep, come with the heat. Tracy's ready.
Bring the heat.
So with all that being said, please join me in welcoming Revolut to the stage. Tracy, why don't you come in and tell us a little bit about what you're building?
Sure. Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Net Capital, for having Gerardo and myself here to represent Revolut today. So what we're building is a music video platform, social network with some proprietary technologies that are like very amazing technologies. So we're building a social network with this cool music video technology, and it's basically, if you want to jump right into the product, we had a demo ready to actually show. Can Gerardo share his screen?
Yeah, absolutely. I can allow you to share your screen. Go ahead.
Gerardo, you prepared for that?
Yeah. Actually, okay. Let me just turn my video on. I forgot about that.
I want to give everybody a demo, because last time I came on, I tried to do it live, and like with the delay, it didn't work. So we prepared this time. We made a video. We said, okay, we'll show the video. But so I came up with this idea how to make music videos more entertaining. This was like over 10 years ago when everybody was talking about interactive. That was a big buzzword online. And I've come from a music background, entertainment background. So I have this passion for music, video, entertainment, all that. And so I came up with this idea. I sat on it for a while because I knew that I wasn't going to do it until I was really ready to commit full time. And I don't code. So I had to find a co-founder who was reliable, responsible, and I was blessed to find Gerardo. I actually hired Gerardo. I paid Gerardo $6,000, and he developed my dream, something that I created, and he actually made it happen. And after that, he kind of fell in love with Revolut. He drank the Kool-Aid, and it was kind of too late for him, and he became part of it. But Gerardo, you want to start the demo, or?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if I'm going to assume that the audio is going to play. If it doesn't,
then I think as long as when you hit the share screen in that bottom left corner, there should be a button.
See it, share sound. Okay, gotcha. All right, so let's give it a try.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so what you're looking at here, this is the basic version of our technology right here. This is what we call a Revolut music video. So a Revolut music video is broken down into 4 sections, section 1, 2, 3, and 4. So section 1 is the beginning. So you're looking from left to right. So you can have a music video with 4 different beginnings and 4 different endings and these middle pieces. And to put that into context of what that means is like when an artist shoots a music video, they'll shoot, you know, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And professional music video directors who are doing these major videos, they're shooting 7 to 8 hours of footage. Okay. And what do we end up with? We end up with about 3 minutes of that footage, that valuable footage. And in post-production, when they're editing the video, it's often a challenge because they've got so many great shots to pick from, but they can only use one, right? So Revolut kind of gives them the opportunity to use that extra footage, create a new product, and also create a new revenue stream, because you have to understand where we fit into the ecosystem. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, but Gerardo, why don't you go ahead and give the demo here?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just gonna play the video just in case we have some, so we don't have bandwidth issues. So let me know if you hear the sound when it plays. But basically here, you know, we're selecting here the different clips, right? So I wanted to start with maybe the black scene here. I want to continue with the mountains, right? And then, as you can see, it starts with the black background, because that's what I selected. But you know what? I didn't like that much that one, so maybe I was just gonna remix it again. Remix again. Yeah, can you hear everything good?
Yeah,
we can. Yes.
Okay. So you know, and I have, you know, as Tracy mentioned, you know, maybe because we're in Vegas and all the casinos, you know, we kind of did a little effect, you know, where you can remix randomly, right? And we're thinking like maybe we can just create like some sort of slot machine style. But anyways,
right. Where it kind of spins, and then we may maybe even have GIFs in here, and it's gonna, like, you know, because we come from the Vegas, it's got a little bit of what gamification they call it.
Right. And you know, as Tracy said, there is 256 different combinations or permutations of this song or music video. And first I selected the black background. So maybe I'm gonna select the desert, right? Just kind of to show a very different background. Select another one, hit create. And then just less than a second, we have a video already created, right? With a different background. You don't have to doubt me. And you don't have to worry. And you know, it's been a ride to come out with the technology, the core technology we call it, to be as fast as it is, right? Because creating videos is a very CPU intensive process. So we have our own
proprietary technology,
right? Does, as you can see, it didn't take more than a second. It just took milliseconds to create a video on the fly. And that's kind of what we're proud of.
Yes, absolutely. And so I want to get back into what I was talking about. Okay, so this is really cool. But what does it mean in terms of for the music industry, right? What it means to the music industry is new revenue. And that's what's exciting, because we're not coming into the music industry cannibalizing the industry. And what I mean by that, for those lay people that don't understand, is let's say an artist is already making $10 over here on YouTube, and Revolut comes in and we say you can make that $10. There's no value add there. It's the same $10. So in industry, we call that cannibalization. So Revolut knows where we fit into the ecosystem. So we're coming in with new money, because we want the artist, and the artist has to really put that music video on YouTube, get that YouTube check, get all that money. Let those views get up to 100 million views. And we're talking about major artists, because that's what's going to drive a lot of the traffic. That's what's going to help the independent artists get discovered as well. But I mean, once that, you know, get that check, 200 million views, 300 million views, get all that money. You got the YouTube money. Now you release the Revolut version. You've got this great way to engage your fans and create a whole new revenue stream. This is an unrealized new revenue stream for the music industry. We could potentially generate $500 million or more, and these are preliminary numbers for the music industry. And it's amazing, you know, what this really means in terms of you know, just a new music video product and just a whole new revenue stream that's unrealized. So you have to really understand that this is new revenue for the industry. So anyone who doesn't like recognize that, they're just a hater. I know that's not technical, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I mean, with like one Revolut music video, we're looking at potentially, you know, $1 million in revenue, and because and I'll tell you how we get there too, because we have another proprietary technology that's called Ad Defender. So it's called Revolut with Ad Defender, and what Ad Defender is, Eric, is when you watch a music video on YouTube, there's about a 60% fill rate, meaning 60% of the time you'll see a commercial, and then maybe of those people, 30% of those people, 25% of those people are paying for premium. So they'll never see your ad on YouTube because they pay for premium. They pay to skip commercials. And then of the remaining percentage, half of those people are using ad blocking technologies. So you're not, as an advertiser who's got a product or service to promote, you're not going to reach your advertiser. But with Revolut, as you saw on Matrix, how there was 16 clips, 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind the scenes, where we can basically inject different ads into any Revolut music video and file the and it's unskippable. So what that means to advertisers is, let's say we have a music video with a major artist, and we go to an advertiser and say, hey, we've got this major artist on board, this is premium content, and we've got a $20 CPM rate. So what that is $20 per 1,000 views, and that's what the advertiser will pay to reach that audience, right? So that's $20,000 per million views. And the advertiser is cool because they're getting to reach every single person who creates a Revolut. And when they do, Eric, there's a sense of ownership and sense of pride there because they're going to share that Revolut because they created it, right? So now the people are sharing. But more importantly for advertisers, they're reaching their target demographic 100% of the time. So this is a huge value add, and we expect that it's going to be very lucrative for Revolut and our shareholders.
Yeah, so that's a great point. Let's dig into that a little bit more, Tracy and Gerardo. And thanks for running that example. So if you take, these people that are creating these masterpieces of music videos, they are having endless cuts, and there's one final version that makes it, and that's the only one that gets any views. But with Revolut, people can kind of create their own version. Can you talk about how many iterations there are with just like a simple, I think it was a 4x4 example that you showed earlier?
Right, so it's 4 to the 4th power. So that's actually 256 iterations, 256 versions of one music video. And more importantly, you're getting to use 3 times. So if a music video is 3 minutes, average music video is 3 minutes. With Revolut, you're getting to use 12 minutes of footage, opposed to just 3 minutes of footage. So that valuable footage that you paid that director to produce, you actually get to use it. You get to put it to good use and monetize it. And at the end of the day, 80% of the music industry now, and I have a graphic from Statista on our website, revolut.video, and you can go see where 80% of the music industry's revenue now is digital streaming. You know what I mean? So I mean, just to say, there's 256 versions. That's a lot of engagement. That's a lot of opportunity for monetization beyond just the standard music video that's on YouTube. And again, we love YouTube. We're not YouTube haters. We know exactly where we fit in that stream.
That's great. That's great. And so let's dig deeper into you talked about the product, and I think I got a good grasp of the problem. How does Revolut make money? What's the revenue model?
Right. So Revolut is an ad-supported service. And like most streaming services, we don't have a subscription model. That's something that might be viable down the line, but right now it's an ad-supported service. So it's free for people to view. They just got to watch an ad. So that's cool. I can talk more about that.
Nope, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then, how big is the target market for this? What's the demand look like?
Right. So there are 2 billion people a month that are viewing music videos on YouTube. 2 billion that are watching music videos specifically. Now, there's some people that are really bullish on Revolut, and they're like, oh, this is going to kill YouTube. And I'm like, okay, calm down, everyone, calm down. Let's not go there. But, with even 5% of that market, think about it, 10% is 200 million people. We're looking at about getting 100 million people and viewers on our platform a month. And then that becomes, that's in terms of eyeballs, but in terms of revenue, it's, upwards of, it's in the billions of dollars, $20 billion. But that's the TAM, as they call it, the total available market. So really accessible to us would be maybe about a third of that, but there's new money to be made and there's new opportunities. And Revolut is a prime example because we're bringing all brand new money. So we will increase the bottom line.
Gotcha. No, that's great. Appreciate that. And then can you talk a little bit more? I know you've had quite a bit of traction recently. Can you talk about some of the successes so far, especially the newer ones, and then we'll talk about things that you see that are exciting on the horizon.
Right. Well, most recently, we've actually been fortunate enough to partner with one of the biggest music video directors, and we haven't even put a press release out. We haven't done anything on this yet, but his name is Matt Alonzo. They call him the Content King. You can find him at Matt Alonzo. It's Alonzo. Alonzo. Because you can find him on Instagram at that handle. We'll put it in the chat down there. But Matt is they call him the Content King. He's got 10 billion views on YouTube. That's with a B, billion with a B. And he loves Revolut. He's actually doing the how to create a Revolut music explainer video right now by this award-winning director. So this is really cool. Here on Net Capital, we've had success with over 86 investors, bringing our total to over 100 investors on Revolut with our existing cap table. But 86 of them coming from Net Capital, and we've only been raising for a month, so we're very proud of that. We're going to crack the crowdfunding code. There's a code for it. There's a system. It's like anything else. And people like what we're doing, and that's evident. 86 people to invest. Some were family and friends, but that was a lot of strangers and things. What else have we got new, Gerardo? We've got a new development team. Gerardo can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we up until recently, basically it was just me doing all the development. So we are very happy to also announce that we've been working with a new development team. So now we're talking about 10 developers, including .NET developers, which is Microsoft technologies, which we use, also including iOS developers, which for our new upcoming iOS app. We've been working with them probably from the beginning of the year, creating our new designs for our new app that is coming, and we're actively working with this team, and we're making progress every single day.
Every day, it's amazing.
Yeah, very excited really for that. Amazing.
And we're getting close to about the halfway mark of our programming, so I do want to remind everybody, you can go directly to netcapital.com and search Revolut, or you can click the link that I added into the chat here. Or of course, you can go directly to netcapital.com/companies/Revolut, and that's REVOHLOO. And I'm going to add that back into the chat for any of those who might have missed it. Okay, there's that right there. So let's keep the conversation going here with competitive landscape. Are there other players in the space that are doing something similar? And then how do you differentiate yourselves?
Right. I mean, I think the differentiation comes threefold. One would have to be our Revolut, our interactive music video technology. Then you would have to add our ad tech. Then you would have to add something that we've had all along, but now I have a name for it. It's called our soft IP. And I learned this from Todd when we were on with Todd, and Todd was talking about soft IP, which is basically our brand. Our brand is very valuable. We are the company that is dedicated to creating value for artists and rights holders. This transcends and resonates with artists. They love us. We've got over almost 7,000 artists on the platform. And the customer service is just there. We have a strong brand, And that IP, I think, is important. It's something that we're really cultivating it as a culture. You know what I'm saying? And really putting a lot of focus on it because we think that it's going to pay dividends. As far as competition goes in the space, I mean, there are a couple of companies out there. I mean, nobody's really doing what we're doing specifically. You know, there used to be a company called Interlude, and they raised a few years back, Interlude, and they raised about $20 million for an interactive video product, and they had an application for music video. But the thing I didn't like about it was like a decision point video. So you had to watch the music video, and then you would get given decision point. But then there was a little timer in the corner that started ticking backwards. 5, 4, 3. So your heart starts beating fast. You got 5 seconds to make this decision. It was not a good experience. I didn't like it, you know. But not for music video, but for other applications, I think, but maybe e-learning or maybe even advertising, and what might have made sense, but not for music video. But like I said, there's really nobody in the space that is doing quite like what we're doing. But I mean, I guess you could say our competitors would be like YouTube, but we don't see them that way. We see competitor of YouTube as a partner, as a potential partner. We create value, and we want to look at them as a partner. So that's my answer to that.
There is also the copycats, right? Remember, I'm pretty sure you remember, Tracy, a few years back.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to mention the name of the company, right? Because just
right.
But there's this company, big studio, big company that came out with something very similar than Revelo when we were actually talking to them about that. And they come out with, they put something together. They just changed a few things here and there. Maybe they did it like, I think it was like 5x4 instead of 4x4. But anyways, we tried their technology. We clicked the videos, and what was it, like 4 minutes to generate the video, right? So like you will select the combinations, click create video, and it will take like, I think it was like, I want to say 7 minutes, but let's put it on 4 minutes. That's what I was like when I was talking about the core technology.
Really work. It didn't even really.
You know, it's something we are proud of. We solved the CPU intensive video processing in a very creative way, and they're gone, right? So they don't. I don't think they lasted even a couple of months.
No,
because the
company's still in business, but then they're no longer doing that anymore. Yeah. They tried it, but we were actually talking to them about it at the time, and they tried to put something else about it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we create value in there's nothing out there like Revelo. I challenge people to find something. You know, email me CEO@Revelo and let me know about it, because if there's something out there, I'd like to know. But I'm up on the space. I'm aware. I'm out there. I see things and I see nothing to it. And again, competition-wise, I think that, you know, people are going to automatically see a music video platform. You know what's interesting? No one's trying to do a music video platform. Why? Because you can't compete with YouTube. Unless you have some strong, powerful differentiator, it doesn't make sense. And even trying to do it is just a quagmire. It's a money pit that you're going to throw money into. You have to have some differentiator that's strong enough. And Revelo has that differentiator. And I think people would agree.
Also,
they're going to want to buy her. They're going to want to buy our company. I'm confident. I'm just putting that out there.
Also, is the tip of the iceberg, right?
Right.
You know, the ability to create these 256 versions or iterations of one particular video is just the start, right? We have a lot of things coming up that along those lines, right? Along, you know, that premise, but there's more things that will be releasing eventually, little by little.
No, I think that makes sense.
Even bringing on a chief innovation officer. Yeah. I spoke with a potential chief innovation officer who's already put a couple of really good ideas on the table, because at the end of the day, it's going to be about scaling and about also new features and things like that. But I mean, you know, we can talk about our go-to-market strategy if you want, if that's interesting.
Yeah, let's dig into that. That's a perfect segue. Well, what's the strategy of acquiring customers?
Right. So we have a couple of different strategies, and I'll speak to one. Once the app is ready, we're actually going to be. I think reward is one of the biggest ways to win people online. Right. So we're actually getting a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, okay? Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, and we're actually having it pimped out, as they say, by we don't have the paperwork yet signed up, but I did speak to his team over at Open Bar Entertainment. That's Dante Kidd I spoke with. I can say this. We don't have any paperwork with them, but this is Exhibit's team. Exhibit used to do Pimp My Ride, and they're excited about it. The only thing they said was, we can't call it Pimp My Ride, but they're down to do it. And we're going to get this Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, and we're going to pimp it out and put a recording studio inside of it. And it's going to be amazing. And basically, you sign up for Revolut, you upload a video, you maintain an active account for a few months, and we're going to give that Sprinter van package, $100,000 package away to some lucky artist out there. So we think that's going to create a lot of adoption for artists. And then we have another one I want to share with you, Eric.
Please.
My team may kill me for this, but you know what? It's about educating people and sharing people and getting them excited about Revolut. So I'll say it. One of the things about when you talk about Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, any of these social platforms, verification is highly coveted, highly coveted. You know, so we thought about how are we going to help our artists on Revolut gain fans on our platform. So we talked about how we're going to get the artists there, but how are we going to get their fans there, right, Eric? This is critical. So the first 100,000 artists that sign up on Revolut are going to get their own verification panel in the mobile app where they can verify 100 of their fans. Now we're talking about people that are never going to get verified on any platform because they're not in politics, they're not in music, they're not part of that. They don't meet the criteria. There's only 200,000 verified accounts on Twitter of 400 million. You know what I'm saying? So they don't meet the criteria. Now, if this particular, and we're going to teach the artists how to leverage this. If this artist goes out across all their social, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you know, Snapchat, and they give their real fans that support them a verification blue check on Revolut, they're going to love that artist. They're going to support that artist on Revolut. And another thing from a technology standpoint, that blue check comes with native notifications. They can't turn them off. So now you get 100 people every time you post on Revolut that are getting native notifications that you made a post. And so that's 100 people. But look, let's do the numbers here, right? 100. We're going to give the first 100,000 artists these verification panels and the power, ability to verify 100 fans, creating their own army. 100,000 times 100 is 10 million people. That's 10 million fans. And we're going to get these kids to get, you know, it's going to work. So that's bringing on 10 million actual fans and viewers to the platform as far as, you know, immediately. So now once we get to that point, I'll segue back to advertising now because revenue generation is important. So the first two spaces that we're going to monetize are going to be pre-roll videos. So the pre-rolls for standard music videos, and I coined that phrase, by the way. No one else has a reason to say standard music videos. But I say standard music videos opposed to a Revolut music video, right? So that's why we have the distinction. But so when the music videos will be the standard music videos will be monetized with pre-roll ads. Now, another really cool thing that I'm proud to say here is, and John, I'll let you tell it. You know what I'm going to say. With regard to the ad revenue for artists.
With regards with what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The ad revenue for standard music videos for artists.
Oh, you go ahead. You say it.
Okay. So we're going to give artists 100% of the standard music video ad revenue. Minus, there's a caveat, minus the bandwidth, because as long as we cover the bandwidth, it doesn't cost us anything, Eric. But the reason behind that is, like, you know, independent artists are big on Revolut. Yes, we're going to have the major artists, absolutely. But I don't want some independent kid that comes on Revolut and gets 1,500 views and I want half of his money. I'd rather send him $9, you know what I'm saying, than take half of his money. It doesn't make any sense. It's about winning hearts and minds. He's going to love Revolut, and now we just get bigger and bigger, and it's more successful. We don't need that standard music video revenue for us to survive. And really, at the end of the day, if you want to talk like real business savvy stuff, it all goes on our ledgers anyway. It all goes on incoming revenue generated by Revolut, which we can borrow against if we wanted to. You know, it's a scale, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're still bringing in that revenue, but we're gonna give it away. I hope that's exciting. I find that to be very exciting. And I think
no, it certainly is.
I think the loyalty that we're gonna gain from that, huh? Yeah.
I was just saying it certainly is.
Yeah, and we're very proud of that, man, that we can do that. And I think coming into the space, we have to do some disruptive things like that. And then, you know, you get targeted for acquisition because sometimes, you know, companies are just bought because we're disrupting the status quo. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, let's just, you know, Eric, because you know, let's just buy this company right here. And we see, I mean, my lawyers, you know, we have a lot of lawyers, obviously, but you know, the lawyers think that our music lawyer, for one, is like, he's like, I think the offer's going to be on the table very quickly for Revolut to be acquired, and that's going to translate for all of our investors and all the people. And really, we put a lot of time into Revolut, so an acquisition would be great. But I'll be honest, and I'll go on record here and say that. You know, if the company were, you know, Eric, when companies are acquired, there's a transition period. You don't just get a check and walk out the door, right? A lot of times you have to stay on for 6 months, sometimes 12 months for that transition to happen, right? But I mean, I would be willing to even stay on for a longer time and continue to run the company, but get a cash out, get a payout, because we put years into this, and then take our investors quicker to exit as well.
That's actually a really good way to kind of bring us home here. Let's talk about other exit strategies. So obviously there's the buy versus build conundrum, and there's an opportunity for a YouTube or something like that to just acquire you. But what are the other options, you know, IPO or other targets that might acquire Revolut? I mean,
there could be a lot of, I must say a lot, but there's potentially other companies that would want to acquire Revolut. You know, could be Spotify. You know, they have a music component. Jack Dorsey just bought Tidal from Jay-Z. Jay-Z, if you're listening, I know you just launched your new fund. You got $325 million. You couple Revolut with Rock Nation, and we got a beast. So, you know, let's make that happen. Hit me up. The information's down below. But no. So there's other companies that could possibly acquire Revolut. And then there's always the IPO route. More traditional, you know, you got the SPACs out there, you know, saying things like that. But I think if we don't, depending on the next 12 to 18 months, how things roll out, because we're going to launch the app. It's scheduled for launch in January, later on in January, early. It'll be Q1, definitely Q1. So we'll have to see. You know, there's options on the table, but an IPO is good for me. You know, if we make enough, and I'd love to ring the bell on the NASDAQ too. So that would be great.
Love that. Well, so last little piece here, let's do a couple of closing remarks. So Tracy and Gerardo, why is now the perfect time to go to netcapital.com and learn more through the offering page and click invest?
You want to go, G?
I think right now is the right moment, because never in the history of Revolut we've been more close to our goal that we started like a few years back, right? Never. Like we tried doing a crowdfunding campaign a couple of years ago that didn't pan out.
We failed, but we came back and we failed, and I'm almost proud of that, Eric. If that makes any sense. It doesn't, you know, I'm not proud of the failure, but I'm proud of the fact that we didn't let that failure stop us. You know what I'm saying? And I want to speak to one more thing to that too. You were talking about acquisition. You know, we were, I spent years taking meetings with VCs, and you know, minorities. Gerardo's a minority. I'm talking Black people, brown people, Asian people, Native American people. We only, you know the percentage that we get of venture capital. A little over 1 point of the billions and billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, that's put out there. If Revolut had been launched by another team, let's say, and I'll leave it at that, they would have been funded within the first year with a big bag, because Revolut is exciting and so forth and so on. But because of the disparity, but you know, when discovered crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding specifically, I knew we had the solution to our funding. I think that right now is the best time because we have a funding mechanism in place. It's called netcapital.com. You can go there and you can look up Revolut and you can own shares of our technology. You can own shares of one of the most exciting platforms that's coming out. And I said that, and I believe that, so that's what I believe. I believe that Revolut has the potential to just be enormous, because of the differentiation, because of our company culture, because of our technologies, because of the passion Gerardo, myself, and the rest of the team have here at Revolut. It's a win. It's a win no matter which way you slice it. It's a win. On the low end, our company is a $100 million company. And that's if we do things halfway right. That's making a lot of mistakes. Revolut is a $100 million company. And again, these are my predictions. And that's what I'm going to say. I believe that. So that's my belief. We believe that even if we do some things wrong, it's that. But we're not about doing things wrong. We're about doing things. We're scientists. Gerardo is a scientist. This man is a genius. You know what I'm saying? And he's you know, and I'm not too, I'm a little sharp myself. Let's just say that, you know. So I mean, other than that, I want you. If you guys want to invest. Go ahead.
So as I was saying,
I'm excited. I'm excited to be there.
As I was saying, so we've never been that close, right? So we've been going through a lot of pain and a lot of hard times, but you know, we learn from our mistakes. We learned last couple of years when we tried it, and we saw what we were missing. So now it seems like we're doing it again, but now we're doing what we didn't do last time, right? We're bringing a new mobile app. We still have our own legacy website, but we're thinking of ways that we can provide to the viewers with a first-class mobile app, right? So, anyways, world class, yeah. And right now is the right time because we close this round, and then hopefully we're hoping to raise our valuation, right? So if there's another round coming, that's not going to be at the price that is right now. So right now is I would say like the right time. We've been talking to our families and friends. Hey, you might want to invest. You know, is picking up.
We've seen some other startups. Thank you, Jordan. We've seen some other startups, particularly, and I can mention them. Like, I go out there. Rap Plug. They have Rick Ross. We actually have raised more money to date than them today. They don't have any proprietary technology. And when venture capitalists are looking to invest in companies, they're going to say, what can you do that someone else can't? And when they look at a product or service that can be replicated with no legal recourse, it's not defensible technology, then that's a lower value. We have defensible technology, and we will defend it to the end of the earth. But my point is, these other companies out there, Fanbase, they don't really have any proprietary technology as well. But I say that to say both of these companies are $20 million valuations, higher than Revolut's $12 million valuations. Their share prices hover around $2.50 a share. Our shares are 20. Oh, can I say that? I'm sorry.
Let's avoid price per share. No. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I can't say that. But the shares are
good
very. The shares. Yes. Thank you. The shares are good. They're cheap. So I mean, it's worth the buy-in now because it's a good time, because we will grow. We've been doing this for a long. I'm going to end it right here, Eric. We've been doing this, and this is the most important thing. We've been doing this for a long time. And if you want to invest in a team that's not going to give up on you and your investment, because we're never going to give up, and we will succeed.
Love that. Love that positivity. Love that energy and the purpose-driven. Tracy, always a pleasure hanging out with you. Gerardo, pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for our attendees for coming in and the questions that you asked. As always, this has been recorded and will be uploaded to NetCapital's YouTube account. I just added a link to that into the chat. Of course, you can just go to YouTube and search NetCapital. Go ahead and catch anything that you might have missed. And please do feel free to share that with anybody that you think might be interested in joining the Revolut family by investing through NetCapital. So I want to thank you all again for joining us. Tracy, Gerardo, enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Okay.